Howdy, I'm Chappers.
And I'm the Captain.
And today we've got some very exciting stuff to show you at Andertons.
We have. What we thought we'd do today, we had so much fun the other day playing with the looper on the little Pod HD 500 that we shot. I thought I'd actually go and get some proper looper pedals, dedicated, that's all they do, looping pedals. The two newest ones are the two new Digitech JamMans. So we've got a Jamman Solo and a Jamman Stereo.
We're about to have lots of fun creating a jazz fusion tune.
Yeah, we're just going to go loop crazy. Now, if you've never had a loop before, a looper pedal, who do we know artiste-wise who is very famous for sort of doing looping?
Well, not famous in the traditional sense, but there's a fantastic artist called Dub FX. If you haven't seen Dub FX, go check him out. The guy's wicked, and he does all sorts of stuff live using a couple of loopers and a preamp on the floor, and does very well.
Cool. And I know probably the lady that made looping kind of famous in the first place was Katie Tunstall. And she has, do you remember that album she brought out that had lots and lots of sort of banging, percussive kind of acoustic guitar stuff, these quite big acoustic guitar parts? All that, exactly. That was all, if you went to see her live, that was
she had a horse and a cherry tree.
Yeah, it was all done live using 2 or 3 of the early loop pedals where you couldn't sort of store them or anything, so if you wanted 3 loops you had to have 3 pedals and everything.
It's good. If you can't afford a band, you can probably afford a pedal, you know?
What we've actually got is a clean sound straight into a guitar amplifier, but we've got a drive pedal as well, so what we can do is record like a clean loop and then play a driven sort of lead sound over it.
And because, sorry to interrupt you, incredibly rudely of me, because we're using an ML1, I thought to show off the myriad tones available from an ML1 here at Andertons, I'm going to start off with a really subtle coil tapped sound, and then bring in some gain, eventually using this awesome full-tone plimsoll pedal, which is one of our favourite distortion pedals right now. Yeah,
it's new from Full Tone, but we're going to review that later, so we'll stick to the JamMan for now. So, JamMan is just set up in its basic loop mode now. So, essentially it's got 3 modes that chap is going to do. He can record a loop, he can then set that loop to standard play mode, which means anything he plays over the top of it won't be looping or recording. Or he can set it to overdub mode, where essentially he will build up more and more loops. So you'll see kind of all that, you'll work it out. So look, let me give you the bullet point stuff of the first one we're going to show you, which is the Jamman Solo. And I'm just going to literally refer to my notes here. Look how professional I am. I don't use paper anymore. Just have my phone. Okay, so Jamman Solo. You have got a total internal memory of 35 minutes worth of loops. Now, if that's not enough, if you put a big enough SD card into the Jamman Solo, you can save up to 16 hours worth of looping. Yeah, that'll be in the future. Your entire life you can loop. Now, any one loop that you record can only be a maximum of 10 minutes long. But that's still
a long time.
A lot. That's like 3 songs worth of a loop. So I doubt many people will be doing that.
Yeah, any more than that is just gratuitous, isn't it, really?
There are nearly 200 memory locations for you to create and store loops in. There is the pedal, the Solo, is just a single button pedal, so quite a lot of the features rely on sort of, you know, either bending down and pressing buttons on the JamMan or multi-tapping buttons. But there is an optional extra called the FS3X, which adds another 3 buttons and gives you a bit more functionality at your feet. You can check that out on our website. Other cool stuff, once you've recorded a loop, you can speed it up or slow it down without changing the pitch.
A bit like Paul Gilbert does in that famous video where he's arpeggiating on a 2-string guitar, 3-string guitar, 3-string guitar. It's a really, really cool video. Check it out.
You can also change the tempo of a loop that you've already recorded. And another thing which is kind of cool is it's actually got like a sort of a metronome slash kind of primitive drum machine type thing in here. So if you do want to just jam along to something in the background, like a, you know, just a like a boom chap type sound, there are 9 of those built in. And as well as plugging your guitar in, it has an auxiliary input, so you could put your iPod in and make some loops off of backing tracks. Or it hasn't got a dedicated microphone input, but if you used this pedal through the effects loop of a mixer or something like that, you could make up vocal
get
beatbox
a simple mic pre, like a Presonus Firebox, and then plug your mic in, and then away you go.
So it's super cool. This is tons and tons of fun for people who are practicing or trying to do something interesting in a band.
Or guys working in a music store like us.
Or us. Best fun I've had using the loopers has just been the fact that I just want to put a real simple kind of 12-bar sort of chord progression in, and then just try and work on some new licks. I mean, you guys know I've been playing the same lick for the last 20 years, basically, so Chapper's taught me a new one yesterday, and it's a great way of kind of practicing.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, did I?
So, yeah. There are 9 rhythms in the JamMan Solo. None of them are exactly state-of-the-art drummer from hell type drum samples, but you know, they're just kind of better than a metronome, I suppose. Okay, so the way it works is I just enter the setup mode. In fact, let's put these up on my lap so you can still see me. So I enter the setup mode, just press 2 buttons at once, and basically we've got a little R5 on the cymbal here. It says we're set to rhythm number 5. So if I now start tapping a tempo in, you'll hear some rhythm noises. Okay, I've got a separate volume control for rhythm here, and these are the 9 rhythms that you'll hear. Ready? So that's the metronome one. That's the drummer that can't afford a drum kit, but has got some sticks. This is the drummer that couldn't even afford the sticks.
Just banging his head against the wall.
This guy's got a bass drum and a hi-hat. Like the White Stripes drummer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, almost a drum kit. He's bought a cheap 80s snare drum now. You tap there how fast you want. Okay. So I just pressed the store button to remember what that tempo was. And then basically what is I really do quite like about this is when I now start the next loop, you'll actually get a counting. So what you'll see is that the green, you'll get a 4 counting.
Yeah.
So it'll go on here. You guys, it'll go red, green, 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 bang, and then you're in. So you'll get like a 4-note count, and then the looper starts. Don't forget to get the 4. That's your JamMan Solo. Fantastic little pedal, £169. So hours and hours and hours of fun with that. It's got a little USB socket on the side here, I've just noticed, which means you can connect it to your computer. I think that is so that you can again organise all your loops in a special library on your computer. If I didn't say it before, even when you change the tempo, it doesn't change the pitch.
That's good.
Yeah. So
it corrects the pitch.
Yeah, it keeps the pitch the same and just literally adjusts the speed.
Well,
so, JamMan Solo, available now from your favourite music shop, which
Andertons.
is... I'm sorry?
Andertons.
Are you sure?
I'm sure it's Andertons.